Hey everybody, welcome back to another Blind Tuesdays. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late, and this is going to be a bite-sized review. I always say that, but I mean it this time. It will definitely be a bite-sized review because on one level, there's only so much that you can say about this film, and for another, my memory of the film is a little fuzzy, just because it's been many years since I've seen this, and when I actually saw it, it was actually at I believe the New York Film Festival. I was actually it was luckily it was during the time of the pandemic, so I actually was given there was a chance to go attend the festival virtually, um, and I got to see this particular film that's at that time, and it's there's stuff from it that still sticks with me, and uh, refreshing up a little bit just now, with watching a trailer and a clip, just because I was set on doing something else for this week. The criteria being this week 2020s, so there's only so many that I can pick from, just because up until late 2020 I had pretty much been just reviewing everything that I've seen. So all of the reviews logged on this channel have are from the late 2021 to the present. Um, it was kind of hard to pick some films because I've pretty much talked about them already. Um, I was set on doing Elisa Hittman's film, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, which is an extraordinary piece of work. If you have not seen it, it is amazing. Some of the best acting from this decade so far, from Sydney Flanagan. She is incredible in that movie. So we might talk about it later this week for Film of the Week, potentially. I just have to refresh a little bit more on that film because, again, I haven't seen that film for a while, also. But um, the film that we're going to talk about here, though, I have enough of a memory of, and accessibility is also a little harder for this film. I just found out that it might be on Amazon Prime. I know it's on Mubi, but um, a very small film, and for just memory, I believe I have more to remember and more to comment on about this film than I do with Never Really, Sometimes, Always. So we might talk about Never Really, Sometimes, Always soon, but for now, we're going to address this film. That film being, and it did come out in 2020, so it does fit the criteria for this week. Um, that film being a film called Beginning, which was released in 2020, directed by a name that I'm not even going to try to attempt to pronounce. Um, and As I said up top, I saw this at the New York Film Festival, and to set it up, it takes place within a Jehovah Witness environment, and specifically starts out in a church, giving lectures about within their culture, within their religion, and a group of vandalists come in and destroy the place. The whole church goes up in flames, and what follows from that is a detailing uh, of a woman who is trying to navigate through this religion, and as her being a woman, there are dangers that come with the territory, and ultimately um, a lot of uncertainty, for her particular role in such culture. And essentially, what the film is commenting on is fairly simple about, of course, toxic masculinity, the hardships for to to living within this environment. Making a comment about Jehovah Witnesses, and just um, ultimately just the mental hardships and um, the the abuse that the women take within this environment, and perhaps more abroad, just making a more of a general statement of things about the condition of women and how we treat women. Um, so, um, I mean, the first thing to say about it, for anybody who has seen it, I mean, it is aesthetically just beautiful. It is a gorgeous looking film that quite frank in its influence. I mean, I didn't know about it back then just because I hadn't seen any of his films, but now seeing his films and revisiting this just now, it's so blatant as to what the influence is for the film, which is of course of Andrei Tatarsky, I believe that's how you say his name, the guy of course behind Solaris, Stalker, The Sacrifice, Mirror, which we just talked about not too long ago on this channel. Um, by design, by aesthetics, it is clearly inspired by that. So I saw a comment online saying like perhaps ripped off. I would disagree. I wouldn't say ripped off, but definitely highly influenced by him, by aesthetic, and just thankfully, just utilized fully and beautiful in terms of the framing. Um, it is a film with that lingers quite a bit, and for the most part, those lingering sensibilities pay off. You feel very much involved in this meditative yet tense environment that is being set up. I mean, overall, like the general influence of the film, not just by aesthetic, by overall mood, by overall lingering sensibilities, it's definitely just that of Andrei Tatarsky. I mean, it's just his name is written all over this film, you know. Um, and some overall like metaphors and sometimes visual representation of things are also kind of inspired by Tatarsky as well, specifically towards the end, like literally the end point almost seems like something that Tatarsky would do in his films. Um, but what you get from this is a strongly meditative exploration of its ideas, and it's leaning on that. It's less to do with the acting, less to do with the overall craftsmanship, which is solid. It has to do a lot more with just exploring its ideas, and what you get from it is a sense of weight, a sense of um, of dread, almost like as almost like a certain a sense of paranoia, but also a sense of calmness. It's really putting you within the mindset of this particular individual, within this female, and um, seeing her just trying to salvage that of her son, trying to not let him fall into um, those sort of masculine traits, trying to lift him out of that, being more of a better person, seeing his downfall, and then ultimately within that, seeing her downfall. Um, it's it's very involving. It's very enticing and visually just strong. It's just very, very strong and definitely influenced by that of Tatarsky. And generally speaking, the film just being inspired by Tatarsky. Um, and I'm probably butchering his name. My apologies, um, but sometimes those lingering sensibilities do wane on you. There's one scene in particular where she is just meditating, where she's just sitting down and relaxing, um, and that scene plays for quite a long time. We're talking maybe a good 10 minutes of her of the one frame of her just sitting just like this. It it can be a little tedious at times, but thankfully it is all informative. It is not just to let shots play, with the exception of that one scene. Um, it's all informative, it's all investing, it's all intriguing, and though it is leaning on an apparent influence, it's utilizing that influence to explore its ideas in a more meaningful fashion, not just to flirt with, hey, look, we're using Tatarsky style. They're using said style to promote a certain to promote more investment, to promote more intrigue, and not just to flaunt it, just to show it off. Um, so it's very, very, very interesting. And to this day, there's scenes that still really rattle me. There's a rape sequence that, pretty much just plays the entire sequence from just, what I mean? Like, it's not just one specific part, it's playing out the entire, sort of, just, that, yeah. It's very, like, detail oriented, and it allows things to just play out entirely versus just showing you segments or dramatizing certain events. It just lets a camera just sit somewhere, and then they let the entire thing play out in front of you. And sometimes it's involving, sometimes it's disturbing, sometimes it's intriguing, a lot of times it's very calming and meditative. It's just very, very good. Um, and I would highly encourage you guys to check it out. It's a very small film. It has a very small it was shown in festivals, but thankfully I found out it is on Amazon Prime. So if you do get a chance to check it out, please check it out. It's very, very good. And if you are a fan of Tatarsky's style and his overall just sensibilities as a filmmaker, I am. I love Solaris and I liked Mirror to a certain extent. Um, I think you'll get a kick out of this because it definitely shares a lot in that style and a lot of that sensibility. And thankfully, it is not just hanging it over you throughout the entire film. It's using it as fuel. It's using it as a resource to give the film a certain identity and um, a certain wakefulness, and it's thankfully earnest and thankfully just solid in overall design and overall craftsmanship and performances. It's just very, very good. It is definitely just very, very inspired by a certain filmmaker, but it is not dictating, the story or the film itself. It's just using it to represent its story, and it thankfully is very complimentary, very, very, very complimentary. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Beginning. I thought it was pretty damn good. I really enjoy it. Really, really enjoy it a lot. Um, like Never Really, Sometimes Always might be better. I don't even know at this point because like just dawning on that film more, like it really hit me more than Never Really, Sometimes Always did. But like yeah, really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Um, so those are my thoughts on Beginning, and of course, this being Blind Tuesdays. Once I get back to my usual setup, I know, sorry, but once I get back to my usual setup, we will get the reaction part out of the way. But until then, as we usually do nowadays, for Blind Tuesdays, I will spin the wheel, and once I find out what that is, you will see it yourself right about now. So whatever that is, that's going to be for next week's Blind Tuesdays. So there you have it. So there you guys have it. Those are my thoughts on Beginning. Very, very small piece. So curious if any of you guys have seen it. If you have, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and your thoughts on just Tatarsky. Just because of just when you watch the film, it's like extremely apparent when you watch the film, the first few frames, by its design, by aesthetic, it's just very, very apparent. So, um, but like I said, thankfully utilized quite well. So, and not just for flaunting or whatever, But if you have seen Tatarsky, any of his films, and if I'm pronouncing it correctly, let me know. Let me know your thoughts on his films in the comment section below. And that's gonna be it for me, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I will catch you guys in the next video.